welcome to the Thunderwave Cave Podcast. This is episode 2. It's only been a couple of weeks since episode 1 has aired for you, and there's been a few things happening in our Facebook group. So if you're not in there already, please look in the description, jump over there, and we'll see you involved in all those things going forward. If you're on YouTube right now, like and subscribe. It helps. Drop a comment. Let us know your thoughts on the thumbs up from Ryan. Let us know your thoughts on the podcast, and hopefully we'll see you around soon. So since last time, we've had a bit of a focus on the Fusion Strike set that has come out. Been a bit of a interesting time with Fusion Strike in general. Pull rates haven't been as good as maybe some of the other sets, especially Evolving Sky seem to up things a little bit. We also had a live going through the start of the Pokemon Shining Pearl game, and so we're going to touch upon that in a moment. We had a disappointing pre-release box, I think, Ryan. You opened up. Yeah, there it is.
That's basically what was inside it.
Yeah, not a lot. I mean, it's a nice box though. The boxes in general are pretty cool. So yeah, until you lobbed it across the room. And then really exciting is our Facebook group's only been going publicly since the first podcast on the 19th, which right now is actually only 5 days ago when we're filming this, and we've already passed 100 members. Ryan very kindly threw in a few cards to help us give a bit of an incentive to people to do that, and Kieran he won those cards, so they are with him. Well, I'm assuming they're with him, Ryan. But...
Yeah. He messaged me. Slap a post up, Kieran. These guys don't believe me.
Exactly. So really good. We're now, I think, almost at 150 members when we're filming this, and we're steadily rising, which is a great sign for what's going to be coming in the future. So I guess that leads us on to our first topic. We're going to talk about the Pokemon Pearl and Diamond games. Obviously, they're very similar. Just get a few different exclusive Pokemon that are in each game. I have Pearl, and that's the one that we've been showing on the group. And I'm enjoying it, to be honest. I don't know what you guys think from what you've seen. Obviously, you guys haven't played it, but you've seen me playing it, which I'm sure is just as fun. But I'm really enjoying like that nostalgia of a Pokemon game, which I've not really touched since, I think, Pokemon White, which is probably about a decade or so ago now. So I think it's really good. I don't know what you guys have thought from what you've seen.
But yeah, no, I've watched obviously you on the live stream playing through that, and I watched a few others on YouTube. I'm getting Diamond, but I've told the better half to get it for Christmas for me. So just got to wait. But it looks quite good. It looks very similar to what I remember playing on the DS. One thing I have heard is, so when it was released on the DS, because the processors on them aren't very good, they slowed the game down. So compared to previous games, it's actually quite a bit slower. Okay. And in the remakes, obviously a few people were hoping that they would fix that, because obviously the Switch has got plenty of power to run them, and unfortunately they didn't. So it's still quite a bit slow, and I know a few people are a bit upset about that, but the general response has been really good from what I've seen. It's, like I said, it's a bit of nostalgia again with a bit more updated UI, and yeah, it's good. I'm glad I chose Diamond because the Ho-Ho is one of the ones you get on that one, and not Pearl. So he's one of my Pokemon. So
should have guessed with you, really, shouldn't we? Going to be the one you'll be chasing down, I'm sure.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. Christmas morning, open that up and give it a little go.
As long as you've been a good boy, Bush, eh?
It's very true.
Yeah.
You're not stealing any more fibres, are you?
I reckon, mate.
No. I pay outright for all my booster packs these days.
Yeah, no.
He's a good boy now. You seem to be enjoying it way too much, Nick.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm absolutely hooked, and it's to the point where, because obviously the Switch is portable, which is great. Obviously back like the Game Boy days. It just means that I don't know, waiting for my son to get himself ready for bed, and I'm just sitting there playing Pokemon, and then it's like, 20 minutes has gone past. I'm like, I probably should have already got him into his bed, and he's just sitting there, just doing whatever he likes, just reading a book or chilling out. And there's me just like, gotta catch this, gotta finish this, gotta win the gym battle. Like, yeah, I've really weirdly hooked. I mean, I've always been into like computer games and games as a kid. and I sort of grew out of that, to be honest, as you get older, and I didn't, spend so much time playing games compared to when I was younger. But yeah, I'm hooked back into Pearl. Probably need to maybe rein that in a little bit, and I don't want to complete it too quickly.
How many hours are you into it?
I couldn't tell you, but like I say, I literally just picking it up and spending like 20 minutes at a time, half an hour at a time. As a bloke, I don't know if you guys are the same, but for me, I end up spending way too long on a toilet. So, yeah, Ryan, you could have fooled me with that hair. You could have fooled me.
I do try. I try my best. You said you'd finish the stream about an hour before you actually finished. You said, I'm done, guys. I'm done. I come back later. There you are, live, still chatting away, even though we dropped to about one viewer at that point because it was so late. And there's Nick still hammering away.
I kept getting to that point where it's like, yeah, I'll just do this bit and then I'll just go to bed because it's gone midnight now. I should probably get some sleep, but I couldn't. I was a little bit hooked. So it's a good sign, isn't it? And obviously there's a lot more of the game for me still to do. I think I'm 4 gym badges in, so I've got a fair bit more to go. But it's been good fun so far. Good fun so far, for sure.
Nice.
Cool. Well, that's the latest Pokemon game. But what about the latest Pokemon? What about the latest Pokemon cards? So obviously Fusion Strike has been out. I've done a live. Ryan has got a live coming up.
I do.
So I think by the time you're seeing this, Ryan would have done his live. Hopefully has some nice pulls. I opened an ETB for the fun of it and got basically nothing. There's his case of cards. But what's your thoughts so far on what you've seen?
Well, I'm really proud of myself because it's the first set that's come out. I've not purchased a booster box. I've not purchased any ETBs. I've not gone and got any blister packs. I really have done 2 art sets, I think it was, on Nick's stream. And that is literally all I've done. I've got obviously one in Ryan's coming up. And yeah, I've pulled absolutely nothing. That's kind of expected with only a few packs being opened. Pull rates do seem to be quite low, so I'm quite glib, I guess, that I've not wasted any money really on this one.
So yeah, I've seen some pretty tragic pull rates across the net so far. Some people getting literally like 4 pulls in a box and 3 of them being Vs and like a V max or something. And I've seen a fair bit of that. I've also seen the opposite end where you get 6 pulls in a box. 3 or 4 secret rares and a couple of full arts and some V maxes and a load of Vs. And I think Pokemon Company needs to step up with their shuffling.
Yeah, that's 2
They're
ends of the
telling everyone
extreme,
to shuffle in the game. They don't do it very well themselves.
Yeah, definitely two completely polar opposite ends of the. I mean, I witnessed obviously like basically a nothing ETB with 1 holo. That was dire, and it was live in the group as well, which is even more humiliating for me, is people witnessed how bad that was, which is great. But what about you, Bush? What have you seen?
Yeah, like I say, not too much. Obviously, the booster box we did in the group, that was quite a good booster box. That was the first one I saw being opened. We had 2 alternates there, a couple of EMAXs.
It was definitely better, wasn't it?
Yeah, that wasn't a bad box. That's now we have the alternate arts. I like to think if I've bought a booster box, I like to be pretty much guaranteed at least one of them. Sometimes Evolving Skies, that was definitely the case.
Yeah, Evolving Skies, the pull rates were really good, and I mean I opened 4 booster boxes from Evolving Skies as soon as they rocked up, and pulled pretty much 4 alt arts and good ones at that. Ryan bought one from me, so it's always always a good sign.
I did what?
So
don't listen.
But it's great. So like that was good, and it felt like that should have been what was continued over to Fusion Strike, but clearly was not.
One of our members actually messaged me today. He's been out. He's in Birmingham on a job, and he's been out and bought 2 booster boxes from a shop, a Fusion Strike and an Evolving Skies. He pulled the Umbreon VMAX Alt Art, Sylveon V Full Art, a gold card which I can't remember. Like it was packed. The box was packed, and he even had like good VMAXs, like regular ones, and then the Fusion Strike had like nothing in it.
Yeah, that's
just VMAXs and Vs, and I was like, ooh. But that just shows you. It's like,
yeah, it felt like Pokemon had
Hit and
solved it,
miss.
didn't it? It felt like Pokemon had
Yeah.
worked it out so that, especially with the big sets, so many cards,
Yeah.
so many secret rares you need to get to complete the set. It's like, yeah, Evolving Skies at least gives you a chance, and now it's like Fusion Strike. Nah, you're right.
Yeah, and you throw Celebrations in the middle, where obviously that was a set where every pack you opened, you pretty much had something good, pretty much, and that was a completely new feeling when it comes to Pokemon, because we're used to having nothing. So it was such a shame to go from that, where people were so excited opening packs, to then go back and think, back to the usual 300 card sets and with ridiculous amount of secret rares, and you're not giving us any.
Yeah, for sure. Well, fingers crossed for the next set, eh? Brilliant Stars, isn't it? So that will maybe salvage things. Let's hope they do something different coming up.
let's hope so.
Who knows?
I can't believe my build and battle still. That was supposed to be so. I had that off a guy called Joe who's in the group, and he ran. They ran the event at their shop. I don't know how many people were there, but I was asking round, and I asked the guys who run it, and they said like no alt arts were pulled out of the build and battles. So there's me thinking I've got the last one here. Couldn't attend the event. Maybe I'll get a Brucey bonus in here and pull the only one, and it's far from it.
Yeah.
So it's pretty tragic across the board, it seems.
Yeah, shocking, really. Isn't it? Shocking. How are you going to ever finish that set? If you were someone who wanted to collect the master set, it'd just be unreal, wouldn't it? Like, from pulling them, you have to buy singles, wouldn't you, with that?
Yeah.
Shame. Well, hopefully, fingers crossed, Pokemon, if you're listening, which you won't be, but if you are, like, fix it. Yeah, at least give us a guaranteed alt art per box or something. Come on.
Exactly. That's from Thunderwave. We got 140 members now. It matters.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, we count. We count.
Yeah.
If we go on strike, you'll be worried, Pokemon.
Exactly.
Well, we could wish. But yeah, if you are listening, conveniently sort it. But I suppose Fusion Strike out of the way. Obviously, Ryan, you mentioned recently seeing some news about a future documentary coming to Netflix.
So yeah, Netflix reality sort of show coming up, documentary style thing. There's not been too much leaks on it. It's going to revolve around TCG, sports cards. It has been confirmed Pokemon is going to be in there, which is obviously what we want to hear. It's coming from the guys who made Pawn Stars. Brent Montgomery is his name. I don't know if anybody knows him. It's where Gary King Pokemon first popped up, I think, properly, and tried to flog a load of Charizards for about $500,000, and he was like, no. So now he's making a show about it, which is fairly ironic. Also going to be featuring Ken Golden of Golden Auctions, which is a pretty big deal. The guy himself appears to be, from doing a bit of research on him, appears to be a bit hit and miss in the community with regards to his reception sort of thing. So that's going to be interesting. So yeah, as far as Golden Auctions goes, they're a fairly big deal. They're pretty consistent with sort of like high valued auctions. So they've got the biggest ones out there essentially. They sold a $390,000 PSA 10 Charizard back in March. This is ridiculous, and this is interesting because I had no idea actually how valuable sports cards are. A Michael Jordan card they sold for $2.7 million, and some other guy who I've never heard of, a random, it's like a rookie card or something for 3.7. So I don't know. I think it's going to be good. It's going to dive into these auction houses, some big collectors, and hopefully we'll get some good behind-the-scenes stuff on what actually goes down and things, and how these guys manage to sell this stuff for so much money. I suppose the big question everybody wants to know with that is, what's it going to do to Pokemon prices? Personally, I don't think it's actually going to do that much. Purely, probably because we've had a massive boom already. I just can't see there being another big boom that close after. You need people to drop out and come back in and stuff. I think a lot of the audience that Netflix has probably already been hit with that initial boom anyway. But having said that, I think the show is going to do pretty well. It's Netflix. It's got a big budget. They did put in bids for other broadcasters, and Netflix won it. So they obviously wanted it. So hopefully we'll see something good from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it sounds interesting at least, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Netflix has done some good some good ones recently, haven't they? I mean, the Michael Jordan one was really, really good. There was one before that as well. I can't remember it now, but yeah, I've been surprised how good these kind of things are, because you think it doesn't sound that exciting, and then you're just like so engaged into it. You're like, wow, okay, this is pretty impressive.
Yeah, well, when you mentioned, Ryan, about like the boom, obviously Netflix and these documentaries do tend to instill a bit of hype depending on how well the documentary is received. Like, completely separate sector, but F1 Drive to Survive that came out on Netflix, like, completely revolutionised the interest, especially in America anyway, towards Formula One. And that's all stemmed from that documentary, just behind the scenes, following the drivers, creating the narrative that goes along with it. So if they can do a similar sort of thing with trading cards, then maybe there will be a boom. It just, I guess, depends where the focus will be in those episodes around, like, the difference between sports and Pokemon. If there's a lot more focus on sports, maybe it will do more for that industry than it does for Pokemon. But interesting all the same to see how these different things and auction and markets and stuff operate. So could be an interesting watch.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily write off a boom. It's just, I mean, if I had to choose one way or the other, I'd probably go with, no. But I mean, you never know, do you? Like you say, it's going to hit however many millions of people. I just think a lot of people have been hit already with that, and that one last year. So I don't know. We'll see.
I wonder if the document, if it's focused on like graded cards and these auctions, that maybe, because we are waiting for a change in situation at the moment where people buy graded cards over raw cards. So in the last boom, it was very much, let's go to my loft, let's find my raw cards and sell them for a bit of money. That's already happened now, so maybe it'll be people coming in and going, okay, I'm going to go buy a PSA card and then try and sell that on, that kind of thing.
Yeah, Bush, I agree. I think it was sort of something we discussed briefly in the first podcast, and obviously we'll do in a proper graded one at some point, but we may well see that move to buying the slabs rather than the raws. So something to keep an eye on, I think. Keep an eye on the marketplace and what happens. Cool. Well, that aside, we've all watched, we all started the Pokemon Secrets of the Jungle movie. Two of us have watched it, I believe, to its entirety. I realised, having watched it, I'd actually seen it before. And so my side of this film, because we're just going to do a light little touch on what we thought of it. But for me, my son was watching it in the living room, and I just happened to be in there, sorting stuff out. And I thought I was just watching snippets of a movie, wasn't paying enough attention. So I sat down today before this podcast and I watched the actual film and realised I had seen it all, but it was that lackluster that I thought it was just snippets. There just wasn't much to it, in all honesty. It felt like quite I don't really want to go in too hard, but it did feel like a really weak narrative. And I just wasn't very impressed. I could have done without watching it, to be honest. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah. So yeah. Full disclosure, I got to the part where he gets they beat the robot machine, and the evil guy Zen or Zed or something like that. He escapes and he goes on the run. And I thought, yeah, I can imagine what's going to happen now. Like they'll catch him, they'll have a little song and dance and whatever. And just thought, I'm good. I reckon I can talk about this in the podcast now. So I turned it off at that point. But I did give it. I gave it basically two. There's two good things I liked. One is that I didn't realise this until now, but Zarude looks to me just like the monsters from Scooby-Doo 1, the film. You know, the ones that like can't be exposed in daylight, that kind of thing. They're identical, so I like that. And the only other thing that I thought, so when it started, Zarude was talking, and we know that they shouldn't be able to speak a human language. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, they better not be speaking human. That better just be translated as a rude language to us. So, and that was the case. But then I was worried that when he meets Ash, that it all of a sudden is going to start speaking human.
Change,
and that didn't nearly happen, but didn't quite. They did keep it that Pokemon was saying Pokemon language and humans were saying human language. So yeah,
it did switch quite quick though, didn't it, in terms of language? Because it did feel like obviously the boy that had been brought up by Zarude and lived his life effectively with Pokemon, so therefore that's how he communicated. He spoke the language that the Pokemon do. But it did feel like basically where you obviously missed the end, but at the end he basically says a full sentence or two to Ash, and it's just a bit like you learn a whole language that quick, and you spent most of your time with Ash fighting like this researcher off. Like, how have you learnt a language that quickly? Yeah. So like where you're saying you were glad that hadn't happened, I felt a little bit like at the end where he basically went up to Ash and was like, yeah, I'm going to go on a journey now, mate. Thanks very much for everything you did with me. I'm going to go off and maybe you'll see me in a future film or TV show. I'll probably be around somewhere. You'll see me again. It just felt like a conversation with Ash at the end. It was like, oh, you learned that quick.
Oh, that's a shame, because I thought they were actively like staying away from that.
No, I mean I've got a 3-year-old child, and obviously he's going through the process of learning how to speak, and it takes him a long time to learn how to say a word. And there's this guy just like, yeah, no worries, I've got it, mate.
I thought other than making friends, which happens in every Pokemon thing ever, there just wasn't enough. It just didn't feel like a Pokemon film. Although there was Pokemon in it, I know it sounds daft, but it just lacked like everything that makes Pokemon stuff sort of. I don't know. It was missing that magic basically, and also the storyline is basically Jungle Book and Avatar hybrid.
Yeah, and Tarzan. And Tarzan.
Like it is literally that combined together with some Pokemon thrown. It's just like
It was. It
is
really
a kids' film,
good.
but it's still bad.
It is, right, but then I suppose for us as like that whole being brought up around Pokemon. I've watched a lot of the movies. To be fair, I watched a lot of them because my son started getting into Pokemon, and so we sort of went back and watched the ones that I hadn't seen that come out since I was interested originally. But a lot of them, they follow that standard, story of following Ash and him battling or him trying to help something or explore something, and it just felt a bit like two separate stories squished together, and then just abruptly ended in a very expected fashion, and then just all right, see you later, we're done now. Thanks very much for helping, and I'm going to go off and venture the world. I'd actually probably be more interested in Coco, which is obviously the boy's name, Coco going off and exploring the world and seeing his adventure, because that would be the start of what
about 15
caused Pokemon, right? And Ash going off into the world.
Yeah. It was poor. I mean, when I think back to when I went to watch the first Pokemon movie at the cinema, which was a decent film. You go into the cinema. The film was quality from start to finish. Like it was literally epic, and you got given free Pokemon cards and stuff. Compare it to now, and you get that Jungle Robot Wars / Avatar, with Mowgli thrown in there somewhere, and it's just on Netflix. It's just a bit like.
Yeah, it felt like a bit of like we just need to get some more material out there in front of people, and so here we go.
But I guess the caveat is that we are all old buggers now, and the kids in our childcare, they absolutely love it. I mean, it's on like pretty much every day still. They're watching it, so that generation, I guess, who they probably were aiming that at, it seems to work. But they're also they're the same kids that go on YouTube and just watch some people open boxes. So,
wait, what's wrong with that? I'm all for that. I'm all for watching people on YouTube opening Pokemon cards.
Yeah, but these Pokemon cards are just like, here's a brown box of cards. Oh look, there's a plant in it. Yay! And they're addicted to it for some reason.
Yeah, everyone loves a bit of cardboard being opened.
Yeah.
On that story, I mean, I didn't even think we meant to do that, but we've just caveated straight into our next topic, which is mystery boxes. So we haven't got any right now, but we're going to basically get some and do a video in the Facebook group. Not sure how exactly it's going to work, but I think all three of us are going to get some boxes and we're going to compare and see what we get for our money effectively. But they are quite fun. But they do vary. Obviously, again, with the whole watching stuff on YouTube, I've seen plenty that people get. Sometimes you can spend as little as 20 quid and get some really cool stuff for £20, or you can spend 200 quid and be like, what have I got for my money? I don't understand where that's all gone. So I think that would be quite an interesting topic. I don't know how much you guys have seen about mystery boxes or whether you've got them before yourselves.
I'd love to see or to know what they were like before pre-boom, because obviously I try to get some obviously during the boom, and you just basically, you don't know how much you pay. You just basically got what very little stock was available to that person. So you never got anything very interesting. It was just literally what you could have bought anyway, because stock supplies are so low that you just can't do anything with it. So I kind of like to see what it was like before that. Like before the boom, if I asked for Sun and Moons kind of stuff, was XY stuff thrown in as well, and that kind of thing, because that's what you really want, don't you? I mean, I like the ones that so Ando, Enlisted Leaf on YouTube, he's bought a few mystery boxes of Pokerev, and obviously at high value, but obviously Pokerev's got a lot of stuff. So you watch them boxes, you're like, wow, that's amazing. You kind of want that kind of feeling, but obviously at a small level because we ain't paying that much. But you just kind of like I say, the ones I've had before, got VTBs. I had one which had a Pokemon shirt, which was I just gave to the missus. Didn't need that. I had like did you have a PSA card in there?
Pokemon shirts.
Oh dear, Nicholas! What is that?
What's that? Look at that beauty! Like, just get that mic out of the way.
Careful, you're going to slip something in a minute, mate.
I mean, I paid good money for this. This wasn't a mystery box. This was a choice. This is a fashion statement.
That's even worse, mate.
Now, to our viewers who are not on any video platform, we can just make up what Nick's got in his shirt there, just to embarrass him, I guess.
It's. I mean, if you are listening to this on a other platform that doesn't have the lovely video of our faces, go and watch it, because right now my shirt is something that needs to be seen.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
What about you,
Brian, what about you? Mystery boxes?
Do you know what? I thought about what I was going to say before coming here, but Bush has just mentioned something that I didn't think about, which is about what they were like before the boom, and I'm actually quite intrigued. I wonder if anyone out there has got any info for us on that, any experiences with it. But yeah, I watched a thing on at Pokerev, and he did a bit of a comparison. He bought some off eBay. And they were sort of tiered mystery boxes. So I think it was bronze, silver, and gold, which is pretty standard. Right.
Yeah.
But anyway, he got these boxes. I think they were 20 quid, 50 quid, and 100 quid, or dollars. And they were branded nicely. Like, they looked good. They looked quite smart. It wasn't just thrown in any old random cardboard box. They'd had these boxes made. They were tamper sealed. So when he received them, he had to break a seal to get into them, which was nice. So it all looked good. He had current packs inside. So I think the best pack he got 2 Evolving Skies and a Vivid, I think, out of the 3 different tiers. So there was no, in the $100 one, it was still just one random pack. The cards they put inside them were nice. They did sort of custom packs.
Okay.
Lots of reverses, lots of different eras, 10, 15-year-old cards, some vintage cards. He'd put some first editions in. They weren't like mega money. And then every box had a slab as well. But he got sent 2 of the gold ones by accident, and they were identical. Even the slabs were the same. And it sort of staged up. You could see it was MGC, I think, is it? Grading. So it wasn't like a PSA slab. Even in the $100 box, there wasn't. It was still that sort of low-end grading company, and it just sort of, the low end was like a 7, and then the next one was like an 8, and then the last one, it was like a Charizard GX Hidden Fates promo and a 10 from this company, and that's in a $100 box. So he,
I watched
while it was
same...
all looked nice and it was done well and presented nicely, actually the value was bad. But the thing you picked up on was the picture on the front was like all these rainbow cards and these like decent slabs, and he was just saying, how many of these boxes have actually got those in? Yeah. Do they even? Are you ever going to get them? Sort of thing, and you just don't know, do you? But
yeah, that's what I was going to add. I watched the same video, and at the start it shows all these rainbow ones that were on the eBay listing pictures. Brilliant. Hopefully with the 5 that he's got or 4 he got, should get at least one rainbow maybe. And this is the problem. It's like it has to be coming from someone so trustworthy. You can't just buy them off eBay. You can't do that. And then even now, like even if I know someone who trusted, like Nick, let's say he did some mystery boxes, it's still the stock that even he can get hold of isn't anything too exciting. So it's hard to.
I've got plenty of stuff. What are you on about?
Yeah.
I do perfectly. I tell you what, if you want to, if that's a challenge, mate, I tell you spend the money on me, and I'll get you a good mystery box. Don't you worry about it.
Yeah. Well, loads of XY stuff. And,
no, I think that's you're right though. Let's be honest. If you're going to have loads of older stock, especially sealed stuff, you're going to have to really sat on that, because if you're buying that from a second-hand market and putting it in a mystery box, where's your margins? Like, taking it from the business side, you'd be looking at it going, right, well, I've just bought this for 50 quid and I'm going to put it into a box and have to count it as 50 quid. Whereas actually, and, I'm sure everyone's aware of this, but being completely honest, if I've got an item that I'm putting in for £100 right now, if I was to go and get a booster box, obviously I've not paid £100 to get it. I have a level of margin on that. And so that is how it works, obviously, with stuff that you've been buying as sealed. I suppose the same can go maybe with singles. If you're buying singles in bulk from people, like I do by bulk, then you're going to end up having some sort of margin you can play with when you're doing those custom packs. And I think that's where it's going to come down to, right, is maybe the expectation and the image that people are going to put forward in terms of these eBay listings and stuff. If they're going to throw in loads of stuff that you're just never going to obtain, how is that going to be a positive experience for the person buying it? And how are you going to get positive feedback from it? You're bound to end up with a bunch of people leaving you negative. So you have to show what you're going to get, right? Even if it's just like you will get a rainbow. What you're going to get, you don't know. Or you will get custom packs and 1 in 5 will have a rainbow, and you guarantee that you do that. And you follow through with enough people that actually you get these really positive reviews. So if you do get a negative one, you can turn around and be like, but look at all the other people that did get it. Like, they do exist, and that's going to be the balance. And to be honest, it's the reason I've stayed away from doing mystery boxes. Especially, I wouldn't do them on eBay, because I think it would just be too hard to explain that to people. Whereas if you're selling them on Facebook and you've got a bit of a rapport and a bit of an understanding with people, you're doing it somewhere where you've done loads of work, selling and stuff with people, then they're going to trust you and they're going to understand that you are doing something genuine. But I would agree. Like, buying stuff off of eBay, are they people that are trustworthy? Are they people that are genuine? You're not going to always know. And mainly because you don't have exposure to all the boxes they're selling to other people that you might get from a Facebook group.
The only thing that I think you could do is like sort of do like semi-mystery boxes. So you almost show off. I mean, it's a mystery as in you don't know what you're going to get, but say if you're going to build 200 mystery boxes, get the entire contents for those mystery boxes and pack them all up on camera, like with your top-down view. You've got to make them anyway, so just record the whole process and then like sort of speed it up, showing the odd cards. Do you know what I mean? Tamper seal them like you would like a big box break. If somebody did on Facebook, they do base set breaks. They'll tamper seal the packs. And then it's just there. If anybody ever asks, you can just go, well, yeah, here's me packing your box with the rest of them. You were just unlucky. You could even speed it up and you do it as part of a video or something. And I think there's a way of doing it. But as far as the margins go with the vintage stuff, you're right. It's pretty hard. Like, it's not just any person that can go out and just buy stuff unless you've got like £100,000 to spend on a bulk load.
Or you've been sitting on
someone.
stuff.
You're going to get it a bit cheaper then, aren't you? But
yeah, of course, yeah. No, I think that's the case, right? You'd either have to have been sitting on it for a long time so that the market value has changed and therefore people feel like they're getting more for their money. In which case, I think the problem is it's like a mystery box. Bush said at the very start of this bit, he did say like, well, people use it to effectively get rid of stock they can't otherwise sell, and that becomes a problem as well because that puts people off mystery boxes. And if all you're doing is getting rid of
Theme
your
decks.
Yeah, if you're getting rid of your theme deck. I mean, I'm not lying. I've got a load of theme decks. I'd quite happily get rid of them.
Here's a prime example.
What is
Jumbo.
Jumbos, yeah.
Jumbo,
Sticking your jumbos.
two promos.
Yeah.
Like I haven't even taken them out because I've opened stuff. I don't want them. They're not worth anything. But I've seen mystery box. I think Gemma, somebody I know, bought one once and literally got that in the top of it. They hadn't even taken it out of the plastic. It's just in the top of the mystery box, and you're like, ooh.
Yeah, I think that's the point, right? So that's what we're going to do anyway. We're going to get ourselves some mystery boxes and see. Yeah. We'll make sure that we get them from 3 different sources, and from there we can sort of judge what we think and what the thoughts are on those places, and maybe we'll be quite open about where we get them. So we'll do that, and we'll make it a separate video at some point. Hopefully, we'll have done it by the time we do our next podcast, and therefore we can sort of give you a little update on how that went as well. That's sort of it, I think, guys, for us. But obviously, we're going to end on a game because that's always a bit of fun. I was absolutely appalling last time. I do apologise for how bad I was. I do know what Pokemon are, I promise. But maybe just not with the explanations that I was being given. I mean, I did well on the test, Bush. So I think you just pulled some hard ones out, especially for the podcast video.
Come on, Bush. Let's have it.
A little bit different though, Ryan. So it's not going to be quite the same as before. I am actually going to show you a video. Now, I'll show you the example first, and you'll get an explanation for why this is going to be hard. This is probably going to be more humour than it is actual challenge. So let me just share that for you guys. Right, so guys, here we go. For anyone obviously listening only, it would be a good time to probably say bye, and we'll see you on the next one, because this is a very visual thing. So probably best to jump over onto YouTube or into our Facebook group to watch this bit and see what we get. But effectively, we got Who's That Pokemon? This is the example, guys. So this will just be a test. But who would you guys say this is?
Vaporeon.
I say it's Gyarados.
Yeah, Bush might have said that because I already told him what the example was. It's cheating already. Look at that. Yeah, this is the only one he's seen, though. But yeah, it is. It's Gyarados. So it shows you how difficult this is going to be.
Gyarados.
Well, it is now. So, I mean, this one then, guys. So who would we be looking for here?
Well, obviously it's Bulbasaur, but it's obviously not.
I'll go with Gloom.
Right, so who have we got? So it's obviously not Bulbasaur. It is Bruxfish.
So close.
That's quality.
Yeah, so I mean, you have to really think outside the box. So we all know who this is supposed to be, but again, who are we thinking?
I'm going to go with Hitmonchan.
I'm going to go with Corsola.
So I'm fairly sure you're both wrong. Loudred. It's just the way they do it is brilliant. We'll only do a few more of these because there are quite a few. Maybe we can save some for another time. Obviously,
Gollum.
we think this one's Weezing, right? But who is it actually?
Gollum.
We've got Gollum from Ryan. Bush, who are we thinking? Got to guess something from you quick.
We should go Electrode.
Oh, no.
Electrode.
I might know who this one is.
So it's Ghastly. There's just a bunch of them. So
it's just a bunch
we'll
of
do
them,
one more, guys. Right, so guys, who's this one then?
Mewtwo.
I mean, it could be. Bush, who are we going with?
Magikarp.
Magikarp. Right, let's have a look. Welma, obviously.
Of course.
What's you been doing? Sorry.
What's going on?
Well,
I mean, I didn't make this, right? I mean, this one looks like a gravestone, not Diglett.
it does. I know. There's some comical.
We
names
won't
on
even
this
bother
one.
guessing on this one. We'll just see what it is, and there we go. We got Rowlet.
It's a-
So anyway, you can see that that is just a bit of humour rather than actually being able to do that as a working quiz. Now, this is the sort of thing I probably would have been better at. I would have had a better chance at this than what Bush was trying to explain to me last time. So
Well,
that's
yeah,
saying a
true.
lot.
on both, you have no idea. So yeah, it's just.
Anyway, guys, thanks very much for watching. We may have had a few sort of challenges during this podcast, mainly down to Ryan. He's got himself a bit of an injury at the moment, and it's meant that he's not been able to sit in the right place, so his connection's been dropping in and out. Yeah, there's his
There
leg
it is.
all wrapped up, strapped up. You've probably given yourself a bit of an injury there, so to stop so that you're better for the upcoming lives and videos and stuff. But
I dislocated my knee, people, so everything is maximum effort at the minute, including me having to sit in locations where I don't get very good Wi-Fi.
yeah, it's been a challenge, I'm not going to lie, Ryan, but I think we're there. I think we've got through it all. So fingers crossed the podcast you've just watched has been fine after my editing skills. I am a videographer by trade, so fingers crossed. Anyway, guys, thanks very much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.